Hey everyone, Christian here to bring you our very first album review. Woo! Today we're going to be reviewing the very famous, very popular, very amazing Led Zeppelin 1 by Led Zeppelin. One of the greatest debut albums of all time. This album is amazing, it is great, it is delicious. This album was released in 1969 in January. It's a very hard rock album, very kind of heavy, but very bluesy. A lot of people say that Led Zeppelin kind of picked up where the Beatles had left off with Abbey Road. And I could see why they would say that, because Led Zeppelin kind of took what the Beatles were going for in Abbey Road and took it a step further and kind of helped create this sound that was going to be prevalent throughout all the 70s. This album has hard rock, blues rock. A lot of people say that Led Zeppelin can be classified as a heavy metal band. I wouldn't agree with this. I would just say that they're a really heavy, hard rocking, blues driven band, and which they were. They were very bluesy. They were really rocking, but it always had sort of an undertone of blues to it, just really heavily influenced from the blues these guys were. Let's go ahead and dig right into the history of this album. Jimmy Page, fresh out the Yardbirds, 1967 maybe, 68, sometime around there, and he wanted to start a new group, so he got together with three other guys, Robert Plant, John Bonham, and John Paul Jones, and they formed what they at first called the New Yardbirds. They did some tours as the New Yardbirds, performing a lot of the original Yardbird songs along with a few of their originals. And then about October 1968, they all decided to become their own band, and so they changed the name to Led Zeppelin, and in October they went in to record their debut album. Let's start off with the cover art. Cover art on this album is kind of controversial to a lot of people, because it on the picture it shows the Brandenburg a few seconds after it had caught fire. We all know what happened to the Brandenburg. It was a very traumatic, very terrible event, terrible accident, and we all know that it was a tragedy that it happened. But to me, I actually really like this album art. It just seems to fit the music. It just shows that kind of raw, very powerful music that was on this album, and I really do think that that picture fits for this album. So let's start off with the songs, why don't we? Track number 1 is Good Times, Bad Times. Fun fact for you, their first song on their first album became their first hit. So, you know, they were just pumping out awesome firsts for themselves on this album. This song is very recognizable, especially for the drumming that John Bonham does in this song. For his crazy single bass drumming, he's just a drum machine. Everybody knows John Bonham is such an amazing drummer. The world of rock couldn't live without him. He was just incredible. Very cool song. I really like the guitar riff in it, and it's really catchy, and I really like it. The next song, track number 2, is Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You. This is an acoustic track, kind of bluesy undertone, but a really cool song. It really shows Jimmy Page's guitar skills as far as acoustic fingerstyle go. It really showed how versatile Jimmy Page could be, and then it kind of goes into a really hard rocking, heavy hitting rockin' bonanza. Very heavy cymbals by Bonham, and the vocal performance by Robert Plant on this song is incredible. He does a great job on this song as well as all the other songs on this album. It just really works well. It's just a really good song. One of their longer songs at about 7 minutes, but a very good song. Alright, track number 3 is You Shook Me, which is their first blues song on this album. To be honest with you, Led Zeppelin does the blues incredibly well. They can play the blues flawlessly, it seems. Robert Plant could sing the blues like no other, and singing the blues is a very hard thing to accomplish, and Robert Plant does it almost perfectly. He's spot on. And Jimmy Page is just an incredible guitarist, especially with the blues. He just shone on this song, as well as all their other blues songs. He's just an incredible blues guitarist. Of course, John Paul Jones' amazing keyboard and organ skills definitely shine on this song, as well as their other blues songs. He's just an incredible keyboardist, very underrated. He's definitely an amazing bassist, but a lot of people don't know that he's also such an incredible keyboardist that you would not even believe the kind of stuff this guy could play. About halfway through, it even has a harmonica solo by Robert Plant, which is very amazing, and Robert Plant didn't do harmonica too much throughout the Led Zeppelin career. He did a few here and there, but it wasn't like a really prevalent thing with them. He only pulled it out every now and again. And whenever he did, he definitely would shine whenever he pulled out the harmonica, because he was definitely a very good harmonica player and very underrated for his harmonica skills. Track number 4 is Dazed and Confused, one of my all-time favorite Led Zeppelin songs, especially on this album. Definitely kind of a dark song for this album and for Led Zeppelin in general, but a very good song nonetheless. Driven by a very simple chromatic riff, but very catchy, very recognizable, and just great. Amazing vocal performance by Robert Plant again, and the guitar playing on this song, oh man, it's incredible. Jimmy Page just was a monster, especially in the section where he plays the guitar with a violin bow, or bowed guitar as it's often referred to, and this man played just insane on bowed guitar. He was just incredible, so innovative, so creative, and it just sounds so eerie and so disturbing, but yet so almost mystical. He just really shown what a great and versatile guitarist he was. Me, I really wish he would have done more bowed guitar work on a few more of the Led Zeppelin songs later on, because on this album he does pull it out I think in 2 different songs, but later on he only does it all throughout Led Zeppelin career. He only does it in 1 other song, which I find is kind of sad, but that's kind of what makes it special, is that it's only a rare occurrence, but it's so instantly recognizable to Led Zeppelin, even though it only happened like once or twice in their entire career. And then it goes into the amazing guitar solo by Jimmy Page, just incredible, shows his skills as a lead guitarist, and this guy could shred like no other. Very good work on this song. They definitely did a good job. It was actually originally a Yardbirds song, which they redid and made it their own, and they definitely improved upon it. The Yardbirds version was very good still, nonetheless. Led Zeppelin just took it a whole nother level up, and just incredible. Next song, track number 5, that's 10-5, is Your Time Is Gonna Come. Music is actually pretty cheerful, but the underlying tone of the lyrics is actually a bit dark, which makes this song unique because it is both cheerful and lyrically more dark. Than it kind of has that contrasting element, which makes it more interesting to me. A lot of people say that this song is one of the weaker songs on this album. I would definitely disagree. Personally, I don't think there's any weak point on this album. I really enjoy this song. The chorus is amazing. The guitar playing and the drumming are incredible. Just musicianship. John Paul Jones' organ intro is just flawless. It's just an incredible song, and I love it, and I don't see how anyone else couldn't love this song. I can kind of see why some people don't like it. It's different for Led Zeppelin. You wouldn't really expect them to do a song like this. You'd expect them to do a very heavy, bluesy rock song. You wouldn't expect them to do this kind of song, so that's kind of, I could see why some people wouldn't like it for that reason, but I really like this song. Track number 6 is Black Mountainside, an acoustic instrumental which has a very Eastern feel to it, surprisingly, which is very different for Led Zeppelin, but it definitely fits in this album. It sounds really cool. It definitely, again, shows Jimmy Page's versatility, especially with acoustic fingerstyle. It's a short song, but it's just the right length to where it doesn't get too long to be boring, but too short to where you wish there was more. And I just really enjoyed this song as well. Track number 7 is Communication Breakdown, probably the heaviest song on this album and one of the heaviest songs throughout the Led Zeppelin career. A lot of people use this song to argue that Led Zeppelin was a heavy metal band. I could see why. It's a very heavy song, very hard hitting with the guitar riff and the drums and Robert Plant's crazy vocals, but still I would just consider it a very hard rock, blues oriented song. I mean, yes, it kind of helped create what was later the metal sound, but to me they aren't actually metal. They just kind of are the precursor to metal. They kind of helped out with the creation of metal, but them themselves are not metal. Of course, this song is very good. Amazing performance by both Robert Plant and Jimmy Page. Robert Plant, just amazing vocals again on this song, and Jimmy Page's lead guitar are amazing on the song. His solo is great, and this song is just hard hitting and rocking his blue poop. Track number 8 is I Can't Quit You Baby, the second blues song on this album, and again they do blues incredibly. They're very spot on with hitting that bluesy feel. Robert Plant's vocals are just incredible, very bluesy, very powerful. Robert Plant could definitely sing the blues, there's no doubt about it. A very good song, especially impressive guitar work by Jimmy Page. It's just incredible. the solos in the song. He was just such an amazing guitarist. Track number 9, the final track on this album, How Many More Times. This was meant to be the big finale, the grand finale to this album, the song that was supposed to mark the end, and to me, this song does that very, very well. The riff of this song, the main riff, is actually, I find it really catchy. It's very simple, very catchy. It definitely sticks in your mind. It goes into different sections throughout this song, which I find really interesting. I love it when songs do that, when they kind of have different sections that they go through. I really enjoy it when songs do that, and this song does it flawlessly. I especially enjoy when it goes into another bowed guitar solo by Jimmy Page. Again, one of the very few times he does it. He does it more on this album than on any other album. Again, incredible sounding bowed guitar, just love it to death. Wish he would have done more. He only did it like one other time. I think it was on In the Light that he did it again. Other than that song, he never did it again, except in live performances. But yeah, overall, this album is just amazing. It's just such an amazing debut album. Really showed the direction they were going with music. This album showed how they truly created this godlike band that would go on to just rewrite music history. Very well done album. There's literally almost nothing wrong with this album. The songs on this album are all very good. There is no low points to me, in my opinion. All the songs are just spot on, perfect. They fit together very well, and it just makes up a great album. Definitely one of my favorite albums of theirs, and definitely one of their best musical performances. Overall, I would probably have to give this album, I really want to give it a perfect score, 10 out of 10, but almost no album in history has ever been perfect. There's always at least one little thing that's wrong with each album. While this album is almost perfect, there are a few things that could have been done just a little bit better. For me, the production on this album, which don't get me wrong, is still very good, but it could have been just a little bit better. It fits together very well, but on some of the songs it just sounds a bit cluttered at sometimes to me. That's just me. I don't know. Maybe I'm insane or something. Maybe I'm hearing something no one else is hearing, or maybe they're not hearing anything at all. I'm just thinking I'm hearing something. But anyways, yeah, I would have to give this album a 9.5 out of 10. So close. I want to give this album a perfect score, but I don't like giving perfect scores. I'm sorry, but it is almost a perfect album. There's almost nothing wrong with this album. I would definitely recommend this album to anybody who's interested in hard rock, heavy metal, blues, getting into Led Zeppelin. I definitely recommend starting at this album. Actually, I would recommend this album to anybody into music in general, or anybody with working ears, because this album is incredible, and if you haven't heard this album yet, you need to go listen to it now and stop listening to me. Go hear it now. Well, I hope you enjoyed this album review, our very first one. Hope you liked it. Definitely like, subscribe, and comment below what you think of the album. Give me your opinion. What do you think is good and bad about this album? So yeah, Led Zeppelin 1, 9.5 out of 10. Hope you agree with it. If not, let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and adios.